Do you want to have dominion in every area of your life? I want you to know that you're living a life of dominion is a function of your genuine love for God. How much you love God will determine how much of dominion you are going to enjoy. Hi, my name is Odurole Mojibola, and I'm so excited to have you join me today as we look through how to create a platform. So now this is unique because it's not going to be time consuming. I've told you what we do is make it easy and simple. I need you to sit back. I'm gonna be right there. The two of them are like this. I don't know if you can see this. This is one and this is another one. So what happens here is that all I did was I wanted it to be as thick as 1.5 inch. What I got initially, the initial one, when I bought this particular one, this particular kind of sole, it wasn't as much as 1.5. So I had to add 8mm EVA foam, which is popularly called Mako here in Nigeria. I had to add it to it just to enhance, the thickness like that. And I'm also going to welt it, which is also going to add, to that width. You understand? So that's what I have here. So I had this one. You can see that this front part is not as thick as this part. That's the way that particular sole comes. This particular sole, that's how it comes. So what you need to do is, now I am creating for size 40. So what I do is, what I normally do is I pick up an insole that is meant for size 38. Yes, when I want to create for 40, I pick up an insole that is for 38. By the time I welt this upper part and I welt this lower part, it will increase to 40. Because the difference between this 38 and 39 is about 0.5 centimeter. And most times our welt is about is 0.6, is 0.7 centimeter wide. You understand? So it covers up for the extra length that I need. So which means if this is 38, I put this extra 0.5 to 0.6 here, there's extra here, which means that it's already 40. You understand? So if you want to work, you are creating for somebody wearing 40, for example, it means you use 38. If it is 38, you use size 36 insole for them. You might have to increase the width at some part, and you might have to actually leave it that way also. You might have to just reduce some of the width as well if necessary, but most times you can see that this is very appropriate for somebody that is wearing 38. I can use this like this without any having to adjust anything. But however, the person I'm creating for has a wide fit, so I worked on this part a bit, because the template I was using was a very wide one for that size 38. So I've folded. I've already applied gum here and applied my gum here, which is my contact cement adhesive. So I'm going to arrange this and place here. I've already applied adhesive also on all the sides. So I'm just going to place it, then welt. Now, somebody have asked me before, how come sometimes when you welt, when you are through, it will now be like it's longer, like the welt will not stay inside it properly again. Probably it will be now look as if the welt the insole will not fit into it properly again. It will look like the insole is now longer. Please, I need you to just be careful when you want to actually welt. Yes, that is what I'm going to suggest you do. Just see what I'm going to be doing here. Now this is my welt. I'm going to be starting from the inner part. This is my welt. I've already also I've roughened the surfaces, and I'm just going to welt. Don't forget, we are creating a platform sole. That's what we are trying to create. So you can literally make your own the same width all through, but the sample sent to me by my customer has this place higher than this place. Now if you want to stack your own all by yourself, maybe literally you want to buy EVA foam, maybe of 10mm, and you want to stack it, you keep stacking it until you get the inch or the height you need. Don't forget to add the welt, because it's part of the height. You have to continue checking it as well. So if it is 1 inch, stack until you have 1 inch. You understand? Stack until you have, of course, less than 1 inch. That's what I'm going to say, so that when you add this, it will actually also, you don't forget, it will add to the whole width when you wrap. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. So if you have to stack it, and then you want this front part to be, the thickness which is this width, to be lesser than this, what you do is, in between your heel here and this in between, make sure you create one halfway at this point. So when you are stacking, when you cut the first, probably you are using 10 millimeter, for example, or you are using 6 millimeter. When you stack 6 millimeter, you stack another 6 millimeter in between the 6 that you stack together. Let's say this is 4 and 4 that made this one 8. So let me use that one as an example. So if this is 4 and 4 and this is 8, I will stack another one like this one, flat like this. Before it will be stiff, be flat, I will stack them separately. When I stack them separately, then I will cut another one, it depends on the height you are going to. So it depends on the height you are going to. So I'll stack this one, it makes this one 8 millimeter, another one again, another 8. I will stack that one the same length. Now I will now stack another one that is also 8 millimeter again. It means just like this width, but I will make sure it stops here. I will place it on the first one that I stack together. You understand? I will place it halfway. Then the second one that I stack together, don't forget we stack 2 of these separately. I will put the second one on top of it, and it will give me the shape that will make this place thicker than this particular part. Yes, we call it, you're actually stacking it. All this is stacked kind of heel, but this one needs to just be halfway. I've taught this before. I just felt I should explain in case somebody is wondering, okay, if I don't want to buy this kind of already made, sole, how do I go about it? I know some people are wondering, what about this texture part? What will you do today to it? Everything will be wiped out for me to be able to wrap. Yes, by the time I file, I will roughen all of them and I will be able to place it. So let's go. Now I love, although this is actually EVA foam and this is actually a rubber sheet, it's Noral, it's a rubber sheet. So I always try to reinforce it by actually adding some drops of my glue all around. It's just to reinforce it, because one of those things that I've noticed with welted sole is that most times the welts come off first. So that's the essence of me doing this. So please follow me as we do this together. So I'm just going to start from here. Now make sure you are pressing down. Yes, I'm going to make sure it's close to it, and I'll also keep pressing this down because I don't want it to be literally open. You understand? I don't want it to be open. So you will see me pressing it and making sure it's very close to it. Sorry for that. Let me adjust. So I'm going to continue like that. I'm not going to allow these edges to be too tight because I'm still going to last there. Sometimes you might have to cut the side you are lasting in. Yes, I didn't remember while I was wrapping this. I will have actually done that so that we can see it. So if you are going to put your upper around here to here, so you cut this one inwards a bit by about 1 or 2 millimeter. That is 0.2 centimeter. Cut it in here, depending on the thickness of your hopper, so that by the time you finish wrapping, when you place it there, it will fit into that particular place. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. So let's continue. I love it when it's staying very well. So you can see the way I'm trying. Now that's the problem with using, what do they call it, glue. You have to be very careful. So you can see all of this. So you want to make sure that you are holding it so well. Can you see the way I'm doing this? Okay. What I'm going to just do is dye this part, then try to use polish on it, and I can also apply polish on top of it right there. So let's see how to knit this part. So just check, you can see where it is. So you might have to just so I don't know why everything just keeps falling down. Let me pick them, please. So I'm going to be careful here. Because I want that to stay very well. So this part, I'm noticing a lot of space here. Although my upper is also going to be there. So that's why I'm not going to bother about it. So at this point, you can see what I have. So what I'm going to do from here is try to see how I can remove this easily. You understand? Just remove easily. Now you can see. Now if I return it, can you see? Can you see that it's still staying there? So what I'm going to do now is I'll go and, use my grinding machine to remove all of the extra that I'm having all around, and then we are going to go ahead and wrap. All right, at this point I have already finished all of the edges. As you can see, I have applied the adhesive, and then all I'm going to be doing is I'm going to take time just to wrap this all around. You understand? So after you have taken your time to measure the thickness, you understand, because the thickness is important for you to be able to know the size of the leather. In short, I was almost short of the size I ought to use, while I was actually cutting out my leather strap. So please make sure you measure the thickness of your platform sole before you go ahead and cut out the leather you are using to wrap all around. You understand? So this is really very important. If you have not liked this video, I encourage you to go ahead and like the video. What we do is we actually create easy and simple ways in which you can actually create your footwear at the comfort of your home. And I believe this platform heel is easier when you are stacking, when you stack the way I stacked. It does not take a lot of time, you understand, like trying to stack from the minimal level. You understand? It does not consume time, it does not consume a lot of adhesive. You understand? So you can see what I have. I'm just going to go ahead then apply my adhesive in the inner part and then begin to wrap all around. The wrapping process, you really need to be very careful. Very careful. Like I said, it's almost like I didn't put, the width that I used was too small, so I'm still going to have to put this in. I can't believe I'm wearing this particular wrap that was on the tape roll. You see what it looks like sometimes when you're walking, you just forget yourself. All right, I've applied the adhesive, so I'm trying to now last that part. I said last, I'm trying to wrap, not last, please. I couldn't show us all the process of the bottoming and all of that, but I can simply tell you that it came out very well. Just follow the process that I actually explained earlier, and you will have a very good outcome. You understand? You have a very good outcome. If you are interested in joining any of our class, please, you can send us a WhatsApp message using the number on the screen. Yes, you can send us a WhatsApp message. I would love to join your beginners class. We have what we call combo class. That one is a subscription class. You can just subscribe for like a month, see how much you can learn in 1 month, And then you can be thinking of, okay, do I do more? Do I not do more? But I can guarantee you have so much to learn in our classes that you might end up being overwhelmed. So you can see how I'm taking time to do all of this. I think this is the most important part, apart from trying to welt it and making sure that the inner sole fits into it, perfectly well. Thank you so much for joining me today. Like I said, if you have not liked this video, can you please go ahead and like it? Go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and click the join button and see what others who support our channel are actually enjoying. Our live sessions are always on Thursdays. Of course, this week Thursday is going to be an exception. We are not going to be having a live session. There is something that is going to be, I'm going to be engaged at that time, so I'm not going to be able to do that for this week. And if I can, definitely you will see me hop. Let's do it like that. Let me say it that way. Yes. So I've cut out my crepe. I'm using like 4 millimeter. You understand? Although that material is not really crepe, but they call it crepe. So I'm going to just go ahead and fit this in. This looks so gorgeous. I can guarantee that. It looks so fine. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am still your shoemaking made easy tutor. Odurole Mojibola. Make sure you have a wonderful July. That is really important. And don't forget that dominating is a function of your genuine love for God. The more you love God, the more you set yourself up to dominate in every areas of your life. I am going to see you in my next video. Bye.